So let me start first with the questions. The first question is uh, basically saying that from where do we buy curcumin, tulsi, and guruchi?
So these are very common herbs. They are available everywhere. You can buy them on internet. You can buy them at Whole Foods. You can buy them even at Trader Joe, I guess. Nowadays, if you cannot walk into Whole Foods and Trader Joe, you can do it website. So we have at our clinic a complete pharmacy. So we also have the pharmaceutical grades of this. So instead of using plain turmeric, we usually use a standardized herbal extract because that guarantees that you have the right amount of curcumin in every single capsule. The same thing again with tulsi, we do not use plain powder of tulsi, we use standardized herbal extract because you want to make sure that it gives you the results that you are expecting and that you are recommending it for. So we usually recommend instead of using plain uh, turmeric powder as a supplement. Now, in cooking, you need to use the turmeric powder. Or if you are just making a herb tea, you can use tulsi leaves. But when you are taking it as a supplement specifically to boost your immunity, to fight these or to prevent these viruses that we are being attacked by, for curcumin, tulsi, and guduchi, I usually recommend standardized herbal extracts.
Thank you, Dr. Shanbag. The next question has to do more with hygiene. So this is basically, trying to find out what is the best way to wash vegetables and fruits after bringing them from the stores.
Wash them in lukewarm water for about good uh, uh, 20 seconds. So soak them in a tub, okay, a plastic tub or a steel tub, okay, and then you can put a pinch of turmeric also in there, okay, that serves as a antiseptic. And then nowadays, if you are concerned about the virus, then you can also put a tablespoon of vinegar in that water and soak it for about good 5 minutes and then wash it. Otherwise, if it has a smooth surface like an apple or something, then you can wash it under lukewarm water for 10 to 15 seconds.
So, okay, so thanks, Dr. Shanbag, once again. So as I go to the next question, we still have time for you to put some more questions in the chat box. So please go ahead and do that. Or you want to put it in the Q&A. Either way, you can continue doing that. The next question is, what is sprouted rice or sprouted millets?
It is not sprouted rice or millet. It was a quinoa that I was talking about. If you sow quinoa, quinoa is a grain. It's a Peruvian grain. So if you soak quinoa for 40 minutes, it starts sprouting. Then it's more easily digestible because it has all amino acids. For some people, it is hard to digest. So that's why I said, soak it, and it only takes a 40 minutes to sprout. So it's a quinoa.
Thank you. So the next question is a more fundamental question on turmeric. So the question is that we use turmeric and multiple other spices mentioned in our regular Indian cooking. Is that enough? Or we should consider buying supplements? Are the supplements more potent?
It is not that we have to buy supplements. Like Veena mentioned, our agricultural practices have come far away from nature. Our soil is depleted, specifically here in the industrialized countries where most of our listeners are from. Okay, and then we use hybrid seeds. Okay, and then we also use tons of insecticides, pesticides, and other chemicals. So those make our foods weak in vitamins or deplete all of the nutrients from our foods, because the goal nowadays is to have maximum production per acre, have it very stable for transportation from the field to the shelf, and have maximum shelf life. So the foods are not grown nowadays for optimizing the nutrients, but they are grown to have maximum production per acre, the transportability, and shelf life. So with those wrong focuses, the nutrients in our foods are compromised. So unfortunately, we have to take supplements, specifically in challenging times like today's pandemics, okay, where we want to add an extra layer of protection. So that's where even people are eating fish regularly. I say include extra fish oil. If you are using turmeric, we would recommend okay, have a curcumin capsule. Even though you have tulsi in your front yard and you can chew on tulsi leaves, maybe consider a standardized extract of tulsi. Specifically, if people don't have tulsi in their yard, they would need tulsi. Earlier, our ancestors used to grow the guduchi or giloy in their backyard and would use that in herb tea. But now, hardly anybody has giloy in their backyard, so we have to depend on a standardized capsule.
Okay, thanks. So we have now two questions, two separate questions on eczema. One is, what is the best diet for chronic eczema? That's one question. And the other question is that can Ayurvedic diet help with eczema? So there are two questions on eczema.
So I think this question is directed to me. Coincidentally, my MD thesis 32 years ago was on skin diseases, and it won an international gold medal. That doesn't mean I have a magic wand. It just means that I have a lot of training in skin disease treatment in dermatology, and I have been treating quite a few skin diseases. So for eczema, I would not say that you should rely only on diet. You have to use all of the four components of a healthy treatment plan. Of course, diet is the first one to begin with, and then the second is lifestyle. Third is using proper natural medicines. That is, in Ayurveda, we use herbal and also mineral medicines. And then finally, doing detox or cleansing, and all of those four are required in eczema. Now, just general guidelines for eczema would be, again, what Veena has been discussing, anti-inflammatory diet, because eczema has inflammation in skin showing up. So you need to use all anti-inflammatory diet that Veena was just earlier discussing, and avoid inflammatory foods. So avoid sugar, avoid dairy, avoid artificial sweeteners, deep fried foods, and then saturated fats and foods that you might be sensitive or allergic to. So eczema is something that is a little bit chronic in nature. So you usually need to get it properly evaluated. Many times eczema can also be there if there is stress. Eczema can be there as a side effect of medications that you're taking. Eczema also could be there if you have been exposed to toxins, okay, whether it is cleaning chemicals in house or gardening chemicals, okay, or if you are into using art material and paints. So those are things that you need to watch for.
Thank you, Dr. Shanbag, once again. So we have a lot of questions. So what I'm going to do is I might pose two questions at a time which are related, just to see that we cover everybody. And of course, I know there's so much of a repository of knowledge here, but maybe we would like to be a little brief so that we can answer everybody. So the next one was, of course, a lot of people are hassled with, sitting all at home, etc. And what about people who have arthritis? So the question is, will Ayurvedic diet help them?
Yes, Ayurvedic diet is designed for every individual separately. So there is nothing called as one Ayurvedic diet, because one glove does not fit all. So the first step in Ayurveda is not to just prescribe a across the board diet, but to first find out who the person is, and that is done by a very detailed evaluation of the person's mind, body, functioning, and then that in Sanskrit is called as Prakriti, or in English is called as a mind-body type or psychosomatic constitution. That is the more scientific term. And those are the terms that Gayatri talked about, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So you need to first find out what is the unique mind-body type of the person. And then accordingly, for that mind-body type of the person and for whatever health problems that they have, whether it is arthritis or other things, diet is individualized, customized. So in Ayurveda, there is no one standard diet plan. It is always individualized and customized by the Ayurvedic doctor or the Ayurvedic nutritionist examining and evaluating the patient.
Okay, so the next question is where to get good quality golichi, and would like to grow tulsi, golichi, etc. in our yard, and this is of course the local Bay Area. So any advice on that?
First of all, okay, it is Guduchi. So Guduchi, Guduchi is the correct Sanskrit term for it. In Hindi, it is called as Giloi, Giloi. And I don't think, okay, you get any saplings of that here. So unfortunately, you cannot grow it. So you will have to either get a sapling from India, and I don't know whether the customs and the FDA would allow that. And then to buy it, again, as I said, you can buy it from various websites. We have a website, we have a pharmacy. You can probably buy it in Whole Foods or also in Trader Joe. But do your homework and make sure that you buy a standardized herbal extract. Don't just buy a simple guduchi or tulsi powder. The tulsi, on the other hand, okay, I think you can get saplings in this country. I have known we have one in our backyard, so you can buy saplings. Again, look on internet or ask the local nurseries where you can buy a tulsi sapling, and you can grow it, okay, either in your gallery, okay, or in your backyard, okay, or on your porch.
So I guess
Great.
there are a couple more questions.
Yes.
I will just bridge them together for you. So one is, somebody is asking, should we not add tulsi to our tea? And the other question, which is in tune with that, it says, I thought honey is not good or toxic in hot water. So what do you have to say about it?
So honey should not be cooked. So you shouldn't put honey in your thing and cook it. But when your tea is drinking temperature, honey in that is fine. That's one thing. Second thing is, okay, your question was about what was the earlier question, Sachin?
So about the tulsi, should we not add tulsi in the tea?
You can add tulsi to the tea. You can, if you have tulsi plant in your yard, you can add tulsi leaves, okay, but don't boil the tulsi leaves, okay, in the very beginning. As you already boiled the water and as you are seeping the herbs, so at that time crush the leaves, okay, and put it in there, and it'll bring the extract out and it'll give you the benefits of it. And and then also you can chew tulsi leaves, okay. That was the routine, okay, in the tradition, that after you take a shower, every person would take a round of the tulsi, water the tulsi, and then chew a couple leaves. That was our Indian tradition, which was adopted from Ayurvedic science.
And the one more question for you, Vivek, is the eczema is a pitta condition.
No, in eczema there is both pitta and vata involved. So you have to address both of it. And more important than whether it is pitta or vata and whether it is labeled as eczema, you need to find out the cause of it. So some people, for example, children get eczema sometimes, okay, when they are sensitive or intolerant to the formula that they have been started in the first few months of their life. If they get not the mother's breast milk, but if they are given a formula as a sensitivity or as a reaction to that, they break into eczema. Then I have known of teenagers, okay, getting eczema, okay, when they get into puberty. Then eczema happens because of your sensitivity to cosmetic products, or as I said, cleaning detergents or gardening chemicals. Eczema can also happen, okay, if somebody is under a lot of stress. So you have to find out what is the cause of that vata and pitta imbalance, and then treat that cause. And it takes some time. So eczema is not something that heals, okay, very quickly. And it is not just a skin disease, it is also a metabolic disease. So somebody should not fool themselves by saying is that what is the best Ayurvedic cream for eczema. So eczema is not just on the skin. You shouldn't be focusing only on external treatment. You have to do internal treatment after finding the cause.
One more question which relates to exactly what you answered, Dr. Vivek. So the next question, the same person is asking, any specific diet for eczema?
I already answered that earlier.
Yes. Okay, so there's a question which is very dedicated to Veena ji. Veena, the question is, could you please advise a full day meal plan for gluten-free anti-inflammatory diet for arthritis pain and pre-menopause weight loss?
As Dr. Shanbach said, weight loss and what was the other one you said?
Oh, this is a gluten-free anti-inflammatory diet plan for arthritis pain and pre-menopause weight loss.
See, as Dr. Shanbach said, it is not any diet that you have to tell as a meal plan. You have to evaluate everything: lifestyles, food, and in exposure to all the chemicals, what you are having, and your lifestyle. If you are traveling too much, and there are so many ways, and then exercise, or how much you are detoxing. All this you take in count, and then you make a meal plan. It is not anything like meal plan is like a quickly done. It has to be personalized with a personal problem.
Yeah.
And one more question for Veena. It's how do you drink kombucha, and is it like a shot or the whole bottle at a time? So that's an interesting question.
I think serving size is on the bottle, and most of the bottles have 2 or 3 servings. But kombucha, you have to watch out one thing. A lot of there are flavors and all that, so there is a sugar included. So lesser the sugar, better it is. You don't need to all that sugar, so there is no purpose of otherwise replacing the sodas or anything. So watch out on sugar content. Then it's good. The lesser sugar is the better one, and the serving size is written on it.
So that pretty much covers most of the questions. Sachin, is there anything else that we are missing? Otherwise, we can.
No, I just want to add what Vivek is saying, that there are a lot of good companies which are absolutely manufacturing for a long amount of time in even traditional recipes and formulations. In United States, there are 2 major companies, the Maharishi Ayurveda Foundation and the Bunyan Botanicals. So their all products are tested for all the impurities like lead and all those, and they are also certified organic. So those type of certifications are a useful factor, because a lot of sometimes herbal extracts and things can have contaminants in them. So that's really something to watch for. So if we get a product, it should be free of any other toxins and things, because that makes it more. Otherwise, to fix something, we end up in something else. So the quality is really important.
Very well said, Sachin, okay, because anybody who imports the Ayurvedic products, okay, they have to get it tested. And specifically in a clinic like ours, okay, when we, as California licensed naturopathic doctors, we prescribe them and recommend them, we make sure that all of our products in our pharmacy are of a high standard and that they are clinically proven.
So thank you, Dr. Shanbach. Thank you, Gayatri. And thank you, Veena. I think it's a wonderful session. And the range of questions and, of course, the level of engagement is just absolutely admirable.